your favorite chess journal YouTube channel, and I have just, funnily enough, I've just lost a game here on chess.com, chess24.com, due to time trouble, and I made a blunder and I was recording the game. Then I thought, oh, nah, it's never going to my channel because uh, blunderful game is not gonna give you much to take away with. Okay, so we got a queen's pawn game, queen's pawn opening. Our opponent is also an intermediate level player. D4, D5. Now let's play the London system, but in not playing here, not showing our cards. Uh, Knight F3. Now uh, let's go here. So how have you guys been doing? I guess all of you are doing great. Okay, I don't like this move. Uh, this is, I mean, this knight move could have been played after this pawn is moved. So don't like this move. But if we play knight c3 ourselves, then we have a move here now because of this. We can play here. So let's aim for that one, see if they notice this one. Okay, I guess they missed that one. Now we can actually play here, but then in that case they have to play here to defend this square. Do we still do that? Question is, do we still do that? And make their pawns double? I think we do. I know they have got a check though, but that's not much of a concern. So they have decided to give a check. Now we are gonna block. Let's play c3. And now they have decided to block this square or their weak pawn like this. Okay, now that makes our knight stupid here because it's gonna be chased away very soon. Or we could actually play recklessly by guying here. Yeah, and then put their bishop here. That's gonna make their bishop bad, real bad. Okay, let's play there. Okay. Let's try to develop this Lascar bishop. We know that our knight's gonna kick out. So let's come back. Now we can reroute our knight from a3 to c2, or yeah, c2, and then here maybe after playing this one. Or we could play here, actually keeping this threat. I don't know, we'll think about it, but we have this one as well. Okay, let's develop our Lascar bishop. Or actually, you know what? Let's put this bishop here and attack this knight to, this. Okay. If they take here, we got this capture. Okay, let's develop. Or we also got this capture. I think they should take the bishop. Yeah, that's what they does. Let's take back with the knight. So they have decided to dive in. No, that's not. Is that a good move? Actually, let's take this one. And this pawn is a weakness. So a weak pawn. So how do we target this weak pawn? And this one is also weakness. So how do we target both? By playing here Queen G4, targeting this weak pawn, this weak pawn. So today I'll be talking a lot about um, finding weaknesses in your opponent's camp and how to pile up or gang up on those or that weakness or weaknesses. And what if you have a weakness in your camp, and then how to play in such a way that you get rid of that weakness and create a rather weakness in your opponent's camp. I mean, for example, this pawn is here, then we could have played here, so they had to take, so that pawn is gonna be a weakness. So we have gotten rid of our weak pawn and instead creating a weakness in our opponent's camp. So if we have so let's take, if we have an opportunity to face or to have that kind of situation, then that's going to be a good learning for us as well. Now, by playing f6, the opponent has actually created another weakness in their camp, because if you're an intermediate level player, you should focus on these weakness thing that we are talking or discussing today or learning today, because weaknesses are usually being created by pawn movement or pawn plays, because the only reason being pawns can only move forward, they cannot move backwards. So when you push a pawn, make sure that is not creating any weakness in the pawn that is to support. So now let's come back here or here. Both are actually good. Okay, let's go here, then target here. So they take, so that pawn is gonna be another weakness. So they have to decide, deal with both weakness. So now to avoid that, they need to put their bishop in an, I mean, that's gonna make their Raskar bishop. We have already made their Raskar bishop look real bad. So it's a liability for them at the moment. Oh, it's castle. That's the only thing we didn't do. So we're gonna pile up on this weakness once this bishop is I mean, this bishop is also bad. I mean, in their camp they have got two bishops, but both of the bishops are bad. We've got two knights, and both of the knights are actually good. Now, talking about good knights, let's utilize them as much as possible. And okay, they are playing recklessly. Okay, I would have played so in bullet game maybe, but not in this 15 minutes time control game. Let's come back to the central square. D3 was attacking our queen. So we have got central control, and they've got bad bishops. Couple of their they've got bishop pair, but both of them, look at their bishops, they cannot move. much. So that's why they've got a couple of bad bishops and we've got a couple of good knights. So that's the reason why we are doing better. Okay, and like I said, we're gonna constantly talk about that. I mean, how are we doing? How are we not doing? Now, what do we? This knight could go here, but I don't see any threat. Now let's rather grab space because that's a threat. If they play there, we take the take, that we're gonna take the rook. So we have stopped. So we have played a prophylactic move, stopping that push. Although we had squares to jump into, but this prophylactic move even makes their pawn bad. So they have decided to play c5. And what it does, that's a nothing move. It rather helps us to grab more space in their camp. So they have now decided to play here e5 and to try to break out like this, but that's also guarded. But hang on a second, this square is an outpost for our knight, and we have talked about these in our last game. Always look for what? Check, capture, attack, fork, and pins, right? If you're an intermediate level player, always ask these things or these questions, these 5, 6. And the sixth one was unguarded or undefended piece, and the seventh one was what is your opponent piece is doing and not doing. Opponent's last move, latest move is doing and not doing. So we have got a fork here, this and this. So they could play like this, chase our queen away, but this fork still remains. So be aware of the knights. If you see knights, your opponent's knight hanging around your area of the board, be very careful of that. Knights have this jumping ability. Yeah, like we have anticipated, they have played e4, but we're just gonna tuck the king here or here. Let's remain on the light squares. Let's come back here. Why have we decided to keep our queen on the light square? Because their king is residing on the light square at the moment, and here on this diagonal we have a check. That's the reason why we have decided to maintain on the, stay put on the light square. So how are they gonna? We're gonna be a simple piece up because they can't attack our knight. So after capturing, we're gonna dive in back here to our outpost. So that's the reason why. Let's take. Outposts are very dangerous. Okay, so here they had a backward pawn. That's a good move actually. And now that backward pawn was a weak pawn, and now they have got these battery already. So they have played f4 to get rid of their weak pawn and create a counterplay here down this file. But our rook is actually guarding. So nothing to be worried about at this moment. So this is the reason why I'm gonna take. So they have to retake like this way. And now, this pawn is weak. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of the queen hanging around in our camp. We're not going to immediately take the pawn because the bishop is going to fork our queen and knight. Although we could dive back in here and defend laterally. Yeah, I guess we could take the pawn. Also, they have, we have to bear in mind that they have this move. So, yeah, now they don't have this move because their queen is blocking this one. So let's, or I could have played here, attacking the queen. I'm just trying to get rid of their, now their bishop, this Lascar bishop is strong. Previously it used to be bad. But when they played here, this move, I mean, they have created their bishop, a good bishop, but they're not taking full advantage out of it. They should have gone, I mean, sacrificed this pawn and put their bishop here, and then with this battery here, this one would have been a threat. And now we can play actually here because of this one. And now this bishop has gone to f7. So it needed to be a stay here on this diagonal. Now we could jump in, attack their queen. So they have decided to play queen g6. Now, what do we do? This is a weakness, but this weak pawn is not going anywhere. We could actually try this play against this bishop as well. Let's push this one. Look at their bishop, Daskar bishop. It's super bad. The only scar that it has is here, unless they want to sacrifice here. I've just noticed that I've got 4 minutes time in my clock, and they've got more time than us. This is the problem, that I can't talk and play simultaneously much. I'm not an expert. But then again, if I don't talk and keep on playing, then how do you guys gonna know that the reason behind why I played that move? Okay, so they have played h5. That's not bad actually. They want to push this one, but this pawn is guarded actually, or here as well. Whichever piece is not doing anything, this rook. So let's develop here. We can come here later, defend laterally. So that's not a threat. Actually now we can, we have this one. We had this one before. Didn't see that one. This and this fork. I shouldn't say I didn't see that one, but I didn't do the principles that I have discussed. Check, captures, threat, fork, pin, unguarded pieces, and what is the opponent's latest move is doing and not doing. So these are, the question is now, they're attacking our knight. So this knight is really strong, right? Do we get rid of their? Do we really get rid of our knight for the sake of their bad bishop? This bishop is real bad, right? No, we don't. So we keep our knight. Let's come back. Attack their queen. So once the queen moves out of the light square, maybe if it goes here, then we can't take this weakness, weak pawn. If they go here, then we're gonna take this one. If they want to exchange queens, okay, we're gonna welcome that exchange because again, this pawn is now weak. So they have got a couple of weaknesses to deal with, not to mention they have a real bad bishop. We have kept their bishop bad, did not exchange our good knight versus their bad bishop. Now, of these two pieces, two pawns, which one do we take first? Definitely the one which is occupying the central square. So let's take this one. And later we're gonna be taking this pawn. So that's again a good move. I mean, like they knew that this was their weak pawn, was a gunner. So how to get rid of that by pushing that, I'm letting it go and trying to make their bishop of some breathing room. Uh, but we are not gonna we are we gonna take that one? But always, what did we learn? Always look for check captures, fret, fork, and pin. So if we go here, that's a fork. So let's dive in here. And again, we don't take. Actually, we have this one, right? This one is a real threat, so we're letting go this side. They take here. We're gonna retake. So with this push, we're also attacking their rook. We'll notice that. So they have to deal with this threat. So today we have learned. So let's make this a queen. This comes with a tempo on the king check. And now we can take the bishop. They can safely resign now, but I guess they're gonna continue. So we have got 4 pieces versus their 2 pieces. So what are the things that we learned today? We learned how to create or how to identify weakness in our opponent's camp, play against those weaknesses, and what if we have weaknesses in our own camp, and how to get rid of the weakness. uh, Sorry, I was thinking. So let's simplify. They don't have much pawn as well. So that's not a move because we have this one. Yeah, they can take here, but So they have resigned. Thank you for the game. And what is the other thing that we learned is that the fight against the good bishop versus bad bishop, good bishop versus, I mean, identifying good, what is your good bishop, which one is your bad bishop versus the fight of your good knights. So thank you all who have subscribed this channel, and those of you who are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And thank you very much for tuning in today. And I hope you all the very best in your chess career. Till the next time, take care of yourself. Bye bye.